How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Donald Trump finally hitting Fauci on some of his missteps he's made all throughout this whole virus process. Now, there's a whole lot I want to talk about, a whole lot on my chest. But first, let's get into some audio. It's only some of the audio. I don't have all of it. If I find it after I do the video, I'll put it on the website through the link in the box. But for right now, you're going to hear some of the audio. This comes from Stafford meeting that was recorded, and I'm not sure who put it out or whatever, but during the call, he said, look, I don't care if a reporter was here or not. I'd say the exact same thing the exact same way. I couldn't care less. So let's go ahead and play it. After we get done listening to that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
When I saw that on TV, I said, oh my goodness, nothing good can come out of that. That's got to be a problem. And then sure enough, it turned out to be a super spreader event.
On that phone call, the president said that people are getting tired of coronavirus and tired of listening to the experts. Listen here.
People are tired of hearing Fauci and all these idiots, these people that have gotten it wrong. He said, do not wear a face mask. That's a number of months ago. He said, do not close it up to China. I have a list of 15 things, this guy. And yet we keep him. Every time he goes on television, there's always a bomb. But there's a bigger bomb if you fire him. But Fauci's a disaster. I mean, this guy's, if I listened to him, we'd have 500,000 deaths.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I agree with that 1,000%. Fauci has not been good. The left love Fauci, so they're really upset right now. There's all kind of think pieces and hit pieces being pinned as we speak against Trump and for Fauci. All right. Oh, we love Fauci. Fauci's a hero. I've actually seen that said already on television that Fauci is a hero. How is Fauci a hero? Because he disagrees with Trump. If he was saying the exact same things, Fauci that is, and Trump did not disagree with him, and they were in lockstep, they were in unison, they were besties, like peanut butter and jelly, white on rice, sugar and Kool-Aid. If they were like that, then they would not praise Anthony Fauci as a hero. They only praise him like that because he's seen as a mole in the Trump administration. He's seen as the anti-Trump within the organization. This is why Kamala Harris came out and said if there was a vaccine that came out and Trump released it, that she wouldn't take it. But if Fauci released it, then she would. It's like, all right, first of all, neither Fauci nor Trump will develop the vaccine. Okay, these guys are not working at Pfizer or Merck or nothing like that. All right, they're not going to be developing medicine. Trump especially won't be developing the medicine. He's not a doctor. Anthony Fauci is just a so-called infectious disease expert. I did not know he was a vaccine manufacturer himself, like in his basement, concocting brews from vials of different things. He's not going to be doing that. So that's an ignorant statement from Kamala Harris, but it's a typical statement from the left. They totally believe in Anthony Fauci because he's seen as an anti-Trump. Although he works for the administration, he's under his umbrella, meaning Trump's umbrella in the White House. It doesn't really matter because they see him as an insider. Now, as far as what Trump said, it's right on point. 1,000% correct. He's been a disaster. Fauci said, hey, don't wear masks. You know, it might block a droplet or two. It might help a little bit, but you're not going to wear a mask. It doesn't make any sense.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill.
Now all of a sudden he says, hey, you got to wear a mask. And then when Trump had the White House event, it's a super spreader. Okay, but when it first came out, you said don't wear a mask. It might block a droplet or two. Now, explain to me this. How does a so-called infectious disease expert who's been around for what Trump said is like 500 years, If you've been around that long since Reagan, or even before Reagan, as long as I've been living, and I got salt and pepper right here on my beard, if you've been around for that long, how do you not know what masks are going to do or not going to do? Okay, at the end of the day, it's a virus. You know how viruses spread, or at least he says he knows how viruses spread. So why would you say at one point in time, do wear the mask, and the other point in time, don't wear the mask? What changed from your knowledge that you've been having for years and years and years and years and years as a so-called expert, right? Then let's talk about the World Health Organization, Fauci and them, the WHO. They've been pretty, cozy. The World Health Organization said from the beginning, don't cut off the Chinese travel. It's going to just promote, racism against Chinese and anti-China sentiments. And it won't really help because it can't transmit from human to human anyway. We know that's false. It can transmit from human to human, not just from bat to human or whatever they were trying to say. Whatever they said from the beginning, we know that that is simply incorrect. And what Trump was saying about there could have been up to 500,000 deaths rather than 200,000, I think is right. If they did not do things the way that they did do it, you would have many more deaths. And how many of the deaths that are officially recorded are because of the virus and the virus only? What, 6%? Now, I'm not saying that those that were listed as, virus deaths did not have the virus and that didn't help in, their death. I'm just saying only the virus, only 6%. All of a sudden, flu's way down, heart attacks and everything else. The regular causes of death are way down. So the question has to be, if the virus wasn't here, would there still have been the normal amount of flu deaths, the normal amount of heart attack deaths, the normal amount of, respiratory illness death? And if not, then why? Well, all of a sudden this year, 2020, would there be a big change in that? Would there be a dramatic shift in that? And also, a lot of the deaths can be traced back to New York City. That's where most of them happen, in nursing homes and people's just regular houses. So what Fauci's going out here and saying and doing is not helping. What he said from the beginning, he even admitted it was wrong. So I just don't really get it. And what Trump said about he's been a disaster, and he goes on television and he keeps making these bombs is right, because he spoke about the whole White House event. He called it a super spreader. How do you know that that's what it was? This is why a lot of the left like Fauci, not because they really believe in his medical advice. Maybe they do because they'll believe anybody that is against Trump. Maybe they do. But the real reason they love him is because he's a guy that will undermine the administration. And if I employ you, why would I continue to employ you if you're going to undermine what I'm doing? If you're going to undermine the whole administration, not just me as Trump, if I'm Trump, but everybody that works in the executive branch. What are you even doing, sir? You're not helping the situation at all, not in the least bit. So yeah, I'm glad that he finally came out and said something, because somebody had to do it. Okay, a lot of us have been feeling this way for a long time. Like Trump said, we're tired of the virus. We're tired of the whole mask thing. We're tired of all of it. We're tired of hearing from the so-called experts, because they tell you pretty much anything. They'll say stupid stuff like, okay, well, if you go to a Trump rally at some place, whether it be indoor, outdoor, whatever, it's a super spreader. You're spreading the virus. You might die. They're saying that Tulsa rally killed Herman Cain. They have no idea how Herman Cain caught the virus. They have no idea what Herman Cain had going on before he caught the virus. They don't talk about how he was a stage 4 cancer survivor. They don't talk about that. They just say, oh, it was a rally and I didn't see him with a mask on, even though Fauci even said that the mask does not prevent you from getting the virus. They say that's the reason why he died. At the same time, you say a Black Lives Matter event is fine because, the issue of racial justice is a public health issue and it takes precedent above the virus. Therefore, it's okay. You can do it and it won't be a super spreader. Okay, the LA Lakers winning and they had a big parade or whatever in the streets. No big deal. All the riots, burning down cities. No big deal. You can burn, loot, shoot, kill, whatever in groups of 5, 10, 15, 25,000. But if you want to have a Trump rally with 5,000 or less, than super spreader, irresponsible, social distancing, wearing masks, making up lies about us at the White House when we went, talking about, oh, we didn't have masks on when everybody had a mask on. You might have seen one or two guys with no mask on, but it was required to wear a mask and it was enforced. All right. Making up lies simply because of a partisan thing. So yeah, Fauci should have been gone a while ago. Like Trump said, every time he goes on TV, it's a bomb. He says something crazy to undermine his administration, but if he fires him, that's a bigger bomb. Oh, you're against science, you're anti-science. You want to eliminate Fauci because he's against you. We need dissenting points of view. It's all bogus. So I'm glad that he said something, and I hope he comes out and says more. And oh, as I close, I want to say this. What Trump said about a week ago about Anthony Fauci's arm being as accurate as his virus prognostications was right on point. Did you guys see the opening pitch where he totally missed everything at the Nationals game? That is symbolic of his predictions for the virus. Right on point. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Trump was correct to attack Fauci on the call with his staff? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or was he not correct to do that? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. I think that it's high time that he did something like this. It's about time. I mean, many of us are feeling the same way. I've been feeling the same way for a while about Fauci. He's just, an anti-Trumper in office that will occasionally say something positive, but for the most part, it's always something controversial, and Trump's got to answer, and it's just too much, okay? Talking about, oh, well, they won't let me talk, but he's right on TV talking. He talks all the time. He's always on TV talking, all right? And it's right to restrict him from talking so much because at a certain point, you begin to just undermine the administration when you go out there and say things that is not necessarily the same as what the president is saying. And the media sees you, Anthony Fauci, as a guy that will just attack the administration from the inside. They see you as a mole, and they're using you as such. You on podcasts, you doing rap songs, all type of stupid stuff. You have way more media exposure than anybody else in the White House, really, aside from Trump himself. So how can you say that you're being restricted? You're not being restricted. You're actually talking way too much. My hope and my dream is that Anthony Fauci gets fired. Hopefully that happens after the election. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.